Welcome to the Daily Sigh. It's Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. That doesn't make you feel a little old. I'm pretty sure this is when Blade Runner started. Um, Man, what a day. This is your Daily Sigh of relief. Great big deep breath in. Oh, it's the end of the day. You did it. You made all the money, made all the impact. And now you're like, gosh, I don't know if I'm all the way caught up. Well, that's what I'm here to do for you. If you're an entrepreneur trying to keep up with what actually matters, this is for you. I go live every single business day at 6 p.m. Eastern, and to the best of my ability, I give you everything that matters in the entrepreneurial world across business, AI, markets, platforms, and policy, all in 15 minutes or less. So it's 6 p.m. EST right now. By 6:15, you will be 100% caught up with everything that you need to know for today. My name is Qasim. I'm a welfare baby turned self-made multimillionaire, and I help entrepreneurs who already have a real business but want clearer steps, better tools, and smarter ways to grow in a post-AI world. All of my content is and always will be free. My goal in life is to help you achieve your definition of freedom, and you can get this, which is the Daily Sigh, delivered to your inbox every single day or once a week. It's up to you by going to dailysigh.ai. So subscribe, share this with somebody that you think deserves a sigh of relief, and let's dive in. Our first story today was our first story yesterday. It just happens to be a really big one. Elon Musk has merged SpaceX and XAI into a $1.25 trillion company. If you're not playing with all things Grok, I think it's really worth doing. I have my kids on it now. My boys are using it for video creation, custom video creation. Y'all, it's extraordinary. What Elon has done is vertically integrated a monopoly on future infrastructure by combining orbital satellite networks with massive AI compute power. His planned $50 billion IPO in June 2026 signals a massive shift where data infrastructure is no longer earthbound. This all comes from Entrepreneur Magazine. For entrepreneurs, this introduces a new form of infrastructure risk where the cost and access of next-gen AI may be controlled by a single private entity. This is a really interesting thought experiment. Right now, we're living in a world where there really is distributed infrastructure, and all of the AI tools are being made available to us effectively free. Even if you pay for the most expensive subscriptions to all of these applications, like the most amount of money you can give OpenAI, I think, is $200 a month. And maybe there's like more expensive enterprise subscriptions that I'm not available or aware of. But even so, like $200 a month to OpenAI, a couple $100 a month per user to Google, a couple $100 to Claude. And in exchange, we're getting $1 trillion supercomputer infrastructure. That feels like a very short timeline. Like, how much longer are they going to continue to give us this stuff? Because, if you look at the prior freemium models, Google, Meta, etc., you were the product. They were all effectively advertising companies. With these AI applications, I don't know that that's going to continue to be true. How could it be? I realize that, within the confines of the content-driven windows, they could put ads in. But like agentic AI, for instance, if you've played with some of these tools or seen what's available, like OpenClaw is a really good example. I don't think they're going to be able to monetize applications like that purely via ads. So then the pivot becomes usage, or at least tiered usage. And at a certain point, I think that we're going to see that that's the primary value driver. Like, who wants to pay the most for the most robust agentic AI, and really who can monetize it the best. So I'd start paying attention to that, and I'd be really careful about building business models on AI infrastructure, pricing models that's effectively guaranteed to change. What if you do go and create an agency where you're playing the AI arbitrage game, and then the cost of AI increases? What happens to you? What happens to your business? It's just, again, it's a thought experiment. Story number 2, TechCrunch. Positron raises $230 million in a Series B to challenge NVIDIA. Number 1, good. We need somebody else doing what NVIDIA does. NVIDIA at the moment is really the only, what would you call them, tier 1 chip company. Positron's Atlas chip claims to match NVIDIA's H100 performance while using less than 33% of the power. We'll believe it when we see it. This isn't the first time we've seen claims in this direction. talking to you, China. Uh, compute costs are currently a massive line item for any AI-driven business. This funding, led by the Qatar Investment Authority, sounds fishy to me, shows major global players are actively arming rebels to break NVIDIA's market stranglehold. NVIDIA owns the space, hence why their stock is continuing to skyrocket. The market is moving from generalized training chips to highly efficient inference hardware as power consumption becomes a primary bottleneck for AI scaling. Energy efficiency is becoming the new Moore's law for competitive advantage. It's really worth continuing to pay attention to. It's this tense dance being done between scaling AI infrastructure and the bottleneck that is the power that funds all of it. And interestingly, it's also, I think, the reason that AI is merging SpaceX with xAI, because SpaceX is going to answer this question potentially. So he says. Also from TechCrunch, Y Combinator moves to stablecoin funding. This is super cool, y'all. YC will now issue its standard $500,000 investment in USDC stablecoins. This, I think, is one of the very first times that we've actually seen crypto used in a way that feels stable, no pun intended. This removes traditional banking friction, allowing for near instant global funding of talent regardless of geography. Venture capital is undergoing what we're going to call a plumbing upgrade, and the move legitimizes stablecoins as the primary settlement layer for the global digital economy, bypassing legacy wire transfer systems. I don't know of a more legitimate organization that has deployed USDC stablecoins. If you do, hit me in the comments, because I'd be really interested in learning about it. But I think this is a massive pat on the back for stablecoin utilization. YC is obviously as legit as it gets, and so the fact that they're putting their stamp of approval on it means we're going to see quite a bit more in the way of adoption. It comes at an interesting time, given that we're watching a damn near global meltdown of cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. I realize Bitcoin is not going away. I'm a firm, strong believer. #diamond hands. And if you haven't been paying attention, we're looking at, it's at 71,000, or at the time of this recording, 72,500, from a high of 200. We were just at $1.25, $1.23. And I was talking to my buddy Tim Bratton, which, by the way, if you don't know Tim, one of the smartest humans in the world, founder of Rhapsody, $300 million businesses, one IPO, one reverse IPO. He's going to change so many things. I can't talk about what he's doing, but he's just pay attention to Tim Bratton. He published his own white paper on why he thinks Bitcoin is going to see further fall, and it has to do with MicroStrategy. It's, I don't know that it's novel as much as it is best explained by Tim, but MicroStrategy has been buying up more Bitcoin than they can afford, literally, and is upside down, not for the first time, but definitely for the most significant time. And if they're forced into the cash crunch that the Reddit bros think that they're going to be forced into, you're going to see a Bitcoin sell-off, and then you're going to see more downward pressure on Bitcoin. My buddy Per Belcher says that the strike price is 67,000. I see some of these Reddit bros saying 10. So we'll see. Again, I'm still a diamond hand Bitcoin buyer, and we've always known that Bitcoin was going to see a lot of tumult. Saylor has said that the changes are Satoshi's gift to the committed. So for those of us that believe, we're just going to keep buying all the way on the way down. From Inc. magazine, the phantom hiring crisis in corporate America. This is an article worth reading. Many businesses are advertising open roles, and yet we're seeing actual headcount remain stagnant. People appear to be just hesitant to pull the trigger. This signals, according to Inc., a crisis of commitment where CEOs are too spooked by economic uncertainty to actually pull the trigger on hiring. I think it goes deeper than that. I think that people aren't spooked by economic uncertainty, or at least they're not only spooked by economic uncertainty. I think they're also spooked by something like training uncertainty. It's like, I don't know who to hire because I don't know what job I'm going to need to fill tomorrow. Companies are using, quote, ghost jobs to signal growth to investors and collect resumes without incurring the cost of payroll. I think that's crazy and also kind of creative. For entrepreneurs, this means the labor market is tighter than it looks. Top talent is still hard to find because the, quote, open roles are often fake. So according to Inc., businesses are faking open roles in order to look like they're in a growth pattern. I think that that's really interesting. And I also think that the labor market being tight feels like a stretch, because every single day that I've been doing the Daily Sigh, all we're seeing is mass layoffs of white collar jobs, many of them ultra high tier. So if we're not seeing it yet, at a certain point, there's going to be a plethora of top talent available. And I think it's going to be small business, sub 20 employee businesses that are going to be the most capable of utilizing that type of talent. And that'll be an interesting environment too, because that type of talent isn't used to working for such small organizations. And so there's going to be some growing pains as far as how to utilize it. But man, I think ultra small businesses are going to be, they're going to be the best equipped to utilize ultra high-end talent and ultra high-end nimble AI, because they're the ones that are small enough to get that niche. So the future belongs to small organizations. Sam Altman has said it. Peter Diamandis has said it. Imad Mastaq said it. We're going to see 1, 2, and 3 person billion-dollar companies, because they're the ones that can utilize these tools to the greatest degree and deploy fastest. They're the most nimble. These large organizations are going to have a hard time doing it. From Google News, PayPal replaces CEO amid profit warnings. PayPal is poaching HP CEO Enrique Lores in an attempt to turn around after forecasting weak profits. The fintech pioneer has lost nearly half of its value in a year, losing market share to Apple Pay, Google Pay, BNLP processors. I think the thing that PayPal needs to do is find its place in agentic commerce. There's still a need for something like PayPal, as long as it can play the AI game. And the AI game is going to be allowing agents to purchase on people's behalves, and then figuring out how you still, what would you call it? It's something like triage. It's like, how do you do chargebacks? How do you deal with returns if an agent made the purchase? And I actually think PayPal is really well suited to solving those problems. Google News calls this a cautionary tale. Being first to market, pioneering fintech doesn't protect you if you fail to innovate faster than the providers, which is Apple and Google. So Apple and Google are actually eating PayPal's lunch, and PayPal needs to find where it can be an intermediary and still continue to provide value. Some backup story, because I have 3 minutes. Paid news sources are getting nailed because content is for AI selection, but human consumption. And when an AI is a proxy, all of these paid news sources are finding themselves with subscriber bleed. It'll be interesting to see how they pivot and whether or not they can appeal to AI. Wall Street buying the, quote, White House put on rare earths. This is an Inc. Article. If you're interested in this type of thing, I am, because I own some pretty significant stock in some local mining businesses. Investors are betting on policy shifts that favor domestic mining and rare earth production. Y'all, take a look at what's happening in the realm of domestic mining. A lot of mines that have been shut down and or just put on hold are now coming back because of this massive push, and it's multi-pronged. It's the increased value in, obviously, precious metals across the board: gold, silver, bronze, copper, and the need for those metals in all of this new infrastructure requirement that's been pushed by AI. This signals a shift in manufacturing supply chains that will favor domestic heavy operators, according to Inc. Critical failure to track CAC. Article from Entrepreneur. Most business owners focus on revenue while ignoring the rising cost of customer acquisition. This matters because revenue growth is a vanity metric if your acquisition costs are scaling faster than your margins. I love this article because it reminds me of all the problems I saw when I ran Solutions 8. Business owners did not want to talk about CAC, and it was one of the most important KPIs, one of the 3 most important KPIs that they'd ever track, and nobody tracked it. And the healthiest clients that we had did track it. So pay attention to your CAC. From Entrepreneur, reskilling employees for the AI age. Companies like Accenture are aggressively retraining staff to use AI tools rather than just firing them. I think that this is a hell of a playbook. Instead of getting rid of people and then finding new people that know AI, how about you just take the people that know your business and train them on AI? Failure to reskill creates a massive, quote, talent debt and will eventually bankrupt the business. From Forbes, Radical secures $31 million for SMB cybersecurity. Radical is building the enterprise-grade security specifically for small businesses in the defense industrial base. Why this matters: SMBs are now the primary attack vector for state-level actors, making specialized security a survival requirement. I chose this article because I just think everybody needs to have some cybersecurity plan in place at an absolute minimum for plausible deniability in the world where you need to mitigate risk. If you are deposed and there is a lawsuit and somebody does try to nail you to the wall, you can say, look, I did something. There's a tectonic shift. I actually think that courts are going to be really forgiving as long as you don't bury your head in the sand. From Founder Survival Guide, the danger of AI model lock-in. Founders are being warned against building entire products on a single LLM provider like OpenAI or Anthropic. Lack of abstraction layer make your business vulnerable to price hikes or model deprecations. I kind of said that earlier. This is an entrepreneur article, and I think everybody needs to have something like nimble AI infrastructure. Create your training documentation independent of the AI tool that you've chosen, because you might need to move tools. And I'm at 6:15 EST. Thank you so much for showing up. If you did, I really appreciate you. For those of you that are here live, I see Alex Aguilar. Thanks, buddy. Diego Dunya. Never going to pronounce your name, but I love you. I see Coach Cav, Samuel, Custom. You're the best, my G. I appreciate you, brother. Jean Martini. It's Lavetta, Long Run. Viagen. It's Juan Lazo. B. Marich. A. Pink. I'm sure there's better ways to say these, and I'm just getting them wrong. A. Pink A. Juliana Hughes. I see Amanda. Hey, Aunt Amanda. Austin Cold Iron. I love you all. If I didn't just say your name, it's because you're in a social channel that I'm not able to see. I go live into Facebook, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all using a fancy little tool called Restream. Today's market is defined by volatile transitions between empire builders and, quote, the insurgents. On one hand, you have Elon Musk consolidating $1.5 trillion in power to control the very sky above us. On the other hand, you have Positron and Y Combinator building the tools to bypass the current kings of compute. This was written for me by ChatGPT, by the way, as a summary of all of my news articles. I go live every single day at 6 p.m. Eastern. My goal is to help you feel like you're all the way caught up and you know everything that there is to know within 15 minutes. If you'd like the Daily Sigh delivered directly to your inbox, just go to dailysigh.ai. You can get it daily or weekly. I'm happy to stick around if people have questions, comments, concerns, or confessions. A. Pink A says, still doing Montessori schools. No, I sold that agency, actually. I sold it to a beautiful human named Donna DeHoostelaar. She bought Nido Marketing or my half of Nido Marketing. The other half is owned by my ex-wife, Suzanne. And they've rebranded as Montessori Thrive. So if you're interested in the Montessori space, go check out Montessori Thrive. Phenomenal agency, beautiful business, something I'm really proud of. And I've passed it along to the next generation, as it were. So God bless Donna and Suze. They're doing the Lord's work when it comes to Montessori and the Montessori world. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? I feel like you're trolling me. I don't know. I don't know football. I don't watch baseball. The Cowboys, because I'm from Albuquerque. Fun fact, all ghetto populations follow either the Cowboys or the Raiders. It doesn't matter who their local team is. If you're from the ghetto, and I am, then you like either Cowboys or Raiders. So I think that the Super Bowl will be the Cowboys and the Raiders, and the Cowboys will stomp the Raiders. And you might say, Costin, that's impossible. The Cowboys aren't even in the playoffs. I wouldn't know that either. I don't even know when the playoffs are. I lose all the man points, y'all. I don't watch and or follow. So thank you, Nicole Ellis, for your insightful question. How do we get a perpetual traffic custom reboot? Man, go yell at Ralph Burns and tell him to bring me back. I don't know that I want to do traffic ever again, to be honest with you, although I am next deep in AEO. So what I do need to do, what I'd love to do, is maybe launch my own podcast. Maybe this is something like that. If you'd be interested in a custom podcast, let me know. I don't know exactly what I would talk about just yet. I've got the staffing agency. If you need an EA, by the way, go to Pareto Talent. I have AEO. I'm merging that agency with somebody else. Announcement forthcoming. Exciting news, y'all. And I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, so I don't really know what to talk about. I have a YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel, just search for Qasim Aslam, and I talk about like entrepreneurship and growth and hiring and delegation and all my favorite usual suspects. I do have a podcast through Driven that we've been doing called World's Greatest Minds. Check that out if you have any interest. Thank you, Long Run. Thank you. What about Google? Do not do Google anymore. Sold that agency in 2022 to a SoftBank-backed MarTech company. And I'm still super long on Google, incidentally. If you want to know who's going to win the AI space race, it's Google, without question. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind. Google has all the infrastructure, all the compute, all the power, all the knowledge base. There's nobody else that has the knowledge base that it would take to train AI from the ground up outside of Google. So that's my strong opinion. Aldo SEO Annie just joined. Aldo's, I don't know how to say your name, but I'm so grateful to you for being here. Thank you for tuning in for the Daily Sigh. I went a little long. I gave you all the news in 15 minutes, and then I stuck around to chat because people are chatting. So I'll be live again tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, wherever it is you happen to be tuning in. I think I see the comments from Instagram and YouTube the most effectively. So if you want to tune in there, that's where we can hang out and actually connect. Otherwise, I hope you are living the dream. I hope you are fulfilling God's promise to you.